same as everything they've done this patch. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they threw out some stuff like the aggressive tri-lane the other day. I mean, I think there's a couple of curveballs. The Weaver pick, you got to kind of understand like when they're going to bring that stuff up. I don't think it's so cut and dry.
I think one of the most difficult things that you have to deal with when you're facing up against Alliance is that there's really no other way to practice against their playstyle unless you're actually playing official matches.
Yeah.
There's just no way. You can't ask if you're gonna scrim. You can in theory ask your team, ask an enemy team, hey, we want to scrim and we want to specifically practice against this, but you can't do that with any other team than Alliance, and Alliance is not gonna review any of their
The hardest thing to learn from scrims is late game decision making. Like when we see early, like new teams coming up, like that's where they always fail, right? Like they can usually, if they dominate lanes, make good mid game fight decisions, like know when to take objectives. But sometimes when you get to these 45, 50-minute games and you're trying to figure out like, should we base race? Should we be split pushing now? Should we be grouping now instead? Do we sneak a Roche? Do we counter the Roche that they're going for right now? Those are the things that take experience and time to learn, and Alliance and EG both really, really excel at.
Yeah, I think EG were probably the most prepared team for this tournament. They arrived the earliest, they boot camped. But the interesting thing is that from what I've heard, they were mostly scrimming against CIS teams. They played a lot against Na'Vi, maybe a bit against Virtus Pro, and I don't know about Vega. Do you think that preparation against Russian or CIS teams is helpful against Alliance?
I think it is actually, and it's funny you say that because EG was mostly scrimming against VP, which showed a lot of kind of all-in push strats this tournament. And I think that might actually benefit EG if that's the kind of style Alliance goes for.
Well, we're gonna see what's gonna happen, Lumi. First bans are out. Give us your thoughts.
Surprised to see that EG has left the Wisp in the pool. Considering that, like we said earlier, EG don't really play the hero all too often, and it's definitely one of Alliance's comfort pick. At the same time, I don't think Wisp has had the best track record in this particular tournament, and you know,
I don't think Alliance have gotten it yet. I think it's just been banned against them every time.
That's true. So, and they're not even first picking it. So,
well, EG sticks to the Witch Doctor metagame.
Yeah.
The Witch Doctor.
I mean, the Witch Doctor is just really good in this meta. It's good against pushing, and I think maybe what K-pop was actually going to say, like, you're scrimming against the Russian teams. They're also doing push strategies, and Witch Doctor is really good against the push. Alliance, actually, people talk about split push, but split push has always been the backup plan for Alliance. They're actually a push team. Even in 2013, they get their timing, they push, and if they have to, they'll split push, and that's why they like the
all in.
That's why
they always push with things that they can adjust to later.
That's why they like the Nature's Prophets, right? Because it fits into the push and the split push. Yeah. But I would still be shocked if EG picked the Wisp. So the question is, are they just fine with Alliance getting the Furon and the Wisp?
I think so. I think we saw from what Bulldog was able to do to the Wisp of Liquid that if you see the Wisp coming and you pick a core that can deal with it and burst them down really fast, I think you can deal with it.
But it's EGM Wisp, man. Actually, I think that Alliance were picking Wisp at the Frankfurt Major, but it was AK playing it then, and so
really
they weren't doing that well. Well, EGM wasn't in the team then.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, that's right.
And so, like, I don't know, there's potential that they looked at that and they were like, hey, Alliance's Wisp is not that scary anymore, but EGM's back here, and he was the Wisp player that was meant to be scary.
Darkseer.
And we finally see the Universe Darkseer. If I'm not mistaken, this is actually the first game for Universe on Darkseer this tournament. Darkseer's been one of the more popular picks, but EG just haven't really seen a need for it, but I think it works out pretty well.
They've had a lot of Voids, Enigmas. Prophet.
I think this actually potentially suggests that Enigma could still come out for Fear. I think PPD could be on the Witch Doctor. I think if you get the Darkseer and the Enigma and the Witch Doctor,
combo complete, right?
And Alliance's plan is to group up and push, and like, how do you push into that kind of thing? So I think when we get to the second phase, we'll probably see Alliance ban out that Enigma that EG have been going for this tournament.
I mean, they also played a Beastly Silencer on EGM when I think yesterday they played it. So got a triple kill, I believe, ultra kill. But against Team Secret.
They almost always pick the Silencer when S4 is bat. So
fair enough, yeah.
It's meant to be like a little kind of combination.
Combo, yeah.
Poor Dooney. Everyone else on his team got like mega buffs to their heroes.
He's still stuck with IO.
Dooney doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't go for the Wisp, so EG had a good read, I guess. Or maybe Alliance were like suspicious.
They're baiting it
I
out.
mean, well, that's probably the Ake hero, so it still could be. Maybe they're just still waiting to see if it fits their playstyle a little bit better. Or maybe they're seeing what EG banned in
That's
the second
a good point.
phase.
Like, if you're gonna pick the Wisp, let's get more information because it's suspicious that they're giving it to us, kind of thing.
Because if they get usually when you pick a Wisp, you pick it in the first part of the phase, so you can then pick his partner immediately afterwards without it getting banned. So now, if they pick the Wisp now, they risk getting their favorite partners in Sven and CK actually for Alliance. They haven't really been favoring the Iotani, so I think if they pick the Wisp, then EG can just fire back with a Sven and CK ban, and then Alliance is maybe a bit more confused about
We
what to
saw
go
them
next.
going for the CK in the group stage, and I believe
Yes,
they ended
I
up winning
think
that match.
it's still good. It still fits the push strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
I remember that one
actually
final
has
push that had like 80 illusions
yeah,
on the
CK
towers.
actually has more like push potential than just about any other core in the game.
It was actually in the game against EG.
Yeah, that was the
the
game they
interesting
won.
thing about that game is that EG nearly won that game, and I think Alliance completely outdrafted them. I think EG didn't have anything to do with the Chaos Knight. They didn't have anything to do with the Death Prophets. It was like, in my opinion, like we didn't actually discuss this yet, but I favor EG going into this match in large part because EG is the one team in this tournament who more than once have gone to a position where I think they were totally outdrafted and they still won.
Still won.
But
And
in that match specifically, wasn't Alliance maybe less confident then than they are now? As you said, that played a big factor.
yeah, that's definitely possible. I mean, Alliance have had a lot of big
5
victories
seconds
since then, so
Yeah.
that could also change the dynamic. But something that's interesting if we compare the heroes, I've been hearing a lot of people
Reserve
saying that
time.
Alliance are just playing the same heroes, and they kind of are, but there's important heroes they played at TI3 that they haven't picked at all now. And you can see a trend if you look at them. We haven't seen S4 Mag. We haven't seen EGM Naga. We haven't seen Ake playing Quetzal, right?
Right.
And the reason we haven't seen those heroes is because their playstyle used to be win the lanes, then they abuse the jungle, and then they push.
Right.
Abusing the jungle is not part of the plan anymore because stacking the jungle is not that efficient anymore, and
Correct.
so that actually forced Alliance to adapt slightly.
You take advantage of the jungle just in different ways. It's
With the
by
Chen.
yeah, it's by picking a jungler, picking an offlaner that can take advantage of stacks, or not stacks, but of farming camps.
But this is why PPD first bans Chen, because
Exactly.
the best way they can abuse the jungle these days is with that hero. Well, also the Nature's Prophet can kind of do that to some extent because he's going to shift into the jungle when he wants to.
I think we do still see teams abuse the jungle, but in different ways. You see the carry ducking into the jungle early to create a little bit of farm, let your support get the level 6, but it's not exactly a very hero-centric strat. I mean, it works a little bit better for Terrorblade because you could jungle better as a core, but I think both teams could look to that to, eke a little bit more resource out of the map. But as we go through the second phase of the ban, one of the heroes that I thought Alliance had a lot of success with was a Spectre, and it's taken out. I think Spectre in particular is very good against Witchstalker. I mean, Fear, when he channels those death wards, he's hiding in the trees.
I like that.
And here
Sorry.
comes the Jakiro.
Support Jakiro at that too.
Vacuum. It's
I mean,
it's your-
Darkseer's off lane, right?
Yeah.
What if it's safe lane Jakiro?
It can be a Lodo or a Bulldog. I mean,
well,
yeah,
it's about
it can't
time.
really be a
It
Bulldog.
would have to be an
mean,
RTZ
sorry.
Jakiro.
Arteezy played Venge in this tournament, so
I don't think it's.
It's
I
not a
don't
core
think it's.
Jakiro,
It
guys.
is not likely, but it is not outside the realm of possibility in my mind.
10
Ah.
seconds remaining.
I think that the best that EG have looked in this tournament has been Arteezy's on like a very
5
hard carry,
seconds.
and
Yeah, I agree.
it's actually more like Sumail's doing more tempo control to add to Universe. So I
Reserve
actually
time.
agree. This is 99% chance support Jakiro.
Yeah, look, I would agree, but there's still a chance.
Guys,
And
They go back for the IO.
don't forget that Jakiro got 7 base damage buff this patch.
Yeah.
He's harassing like a king.
So is that gonna be the burst damage for the Wisp? Just to attack him with Jakiro.
Liquid fire.
I mean,
on top of that,
Just to give one more tidbit to why it could possibly be an Arteezy Jakiro's. Arteezy has really been like really push focused so far this tournament. Like he's been getting a lot of his gold from taking down early towers and going for that, whether it's Lone Druid, Lycan, some of these other cores.
10
So it's not
seconds remaining.
crazy, I think, to think that they're just going for like a crazy like tower siege
5
strategy.
What I would think then,
remaining.
if that is the case, I would see Fear on the Jakiro. Darkseer, after he gets some levels, goes into the jungle, and
Reserve
Jakiro takes over the
time.
lane after he's level 5,
Yeah.
has level 3 in his
That's
liquid
another-
fire against
That's another
Starfish.
good thing
what
about
I
the point
see.
for
Yeah.
support Jakiro and how support Jakiro can actually
Utilize
work
that
is being
jungle.
able to give him the
Yeah.
lane.
That's actually very likely. It's something EG's done a lot in this tournament actually. They've sent Universe plus Fear into the offlane, and then Universe moves usually when it's
10
Nature's Prophet,
seconds
but
remaining.
Darkseer could do something similar, right?
Yeah.
I actually think
Alliance's
hero.
turn to pick.
Sorry, I actually think that that all of these picks on EG's lineup, look at them carefully, and they're all good against Wisp. So we were asking like, it's suspicious they led through the Wisp. They've thought a lot about which heroes they want against the Wisp. If you relocate into Vacuum
Evil
or Cask or
geniuses turn
Ice
to
Path,
ban.
you're in trouble. You can't catch Queen of Pain with the relocate.
Yeah.
I'm excited just to see this mid
Good
matchup.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
no, me
it's-
too.
The puck flop, nothing but skilled involved, and
No, they need to be a gentleman's agreement. All chat, no support roams.
10
I
seconds
would
remaining.
love to see that. I think
Yeah.
people would pay to see that. I mean, it's one of those old school matchups
no,
as well, right?
no wards mid, no
Turn
high
to
ground
ban.
ward for anybody. Just pure
Well,
skill.
you could do that.
I actually think that S4's pack. I mean, people talked a lot about the Weaver, but I actually think S4's pack won Alliance the first game yesterday
Okay.
because how many times do you see Alliance get into a team fight, and the reason they're winning the fights is because the enemy team is trying to kill Puck.
Yeah.
And S4 is just so confident, so good at like, I'm low
5
HP, but I'm gonna
seconds
live because I got
remaining.
all these like jukes and jibes,
He had
ninja plays.
really,
Look
really
at that
good
blue
drink
light,
pulses
and then
on
there's one
Reserve
headset that's
time.
orange that jumps out.
him.
That's really.
For Dutch, for Holland.
I don't know. I was
there
gonna
for
say
you.
for Fnatic, but they're not in.
The difference though in that game was Puck was facing against very little disables. This game you got a bit more. You got the casket, you got the ice path. Still not exactly the most reliable stuff. but
Vacuum into Ice Path.
Sure,
That's nice.
sure. Of course, Queen of Pain might look into getting an Orchid, although Queen might get a defensive Yules for herself, you know, against the Waning Rift.
Yeah.
Also sets up the Jakiro Ice Path if they want to go in that direction.
Who's the RTZ here? Okay, so they banned the anti.
It's the last hero, definitely. It's the last zero.
Looney.
pick.
Ooh, okay.
Alliance's
So this
turn
is
to
a very, I think this is very pushy.
It's very pushy. It's very good against a relocate, like you said. Can you imagine you just relocate into the jungle, suddenly Eclipse greets you?
Yeah.
More importantly, I'm also very worried about the lockdown of Alliance. You get Coil, and that's freaking it.
Yeah.
But this is my point. Like Alliance often have these drafts where it's you can't see how they're meant to win the fight, and then it's because S4's Puck and somehow he just like does these.
10 seconds
Loader did it a bit
remaining.
yesterday on Juggernaut too, but it's usually the S4 Puck where I agree with you, Lumi, that
5
they're gonna
seconds
have ways
remaining.
to lock down the Puck. But it's always a decision. If you try and focus Puck and you don't kill Puck, you usually lost the fight because of
Reserve
it.
time.
Is this a Wraith King?
I think it's more likely to be CK. Because
Okay.
I think CK does pretty well ganking the Luna.
They got
There's
a lot of
AoE.
AoE. They got a lot of
That's
AoE.
true. They do
I'm
have a
more
ton
comfortable
of
with
AoE.
the Rave King here because, you know,
What
we
else
haven't
is-
seen a whole lot of Rick. I mean,
Because
he's
the Juggernaut's out,
he's kind of
Spectre's
out
out,
of.
Spin's
He's
out,
kind of
Spectre's
out of
out, Gyra's
options.
out.
He's kind of He's kind of.
He's
Loda's kind
got
of out
the
of
Slaughter
heroes.
still.
Slaughter,
What do you think of
Slaughter.
no,
work.
they need way more damage. Slaughter can't give enough, I think.
Yeah, that's also true. I think they're kind of backed into a corner here, and they might have to pick something suboptimal. I think they still might go for a CK even if it's a bad pick.
Could they pick Lycan? I mean, that is a,
They could go like
doesn't. I don't know if it really fits
10
the drop, but it is a
seconds
hero loader plays.
carry a bad. No, even more less, even less damage.
5
Let's not do that,
seconds
please.
remaining.
Oh, well, we forgot about Turblade. Did they pick
Yo.
Turblade?
Oh yeah.
They got the
No.
dash.
Oh, the Red
That's
King
right.
Shiva. Look at that.
Well, it
Look at
was,
the
as you
call.
mentioned, it was one of the only ones that was
Yeah.
still left in the pool for...
Yeah.
We're just going through loader here.
I was gonna
Go
do a
through
TI3 Lifestealer throwback, but Lifestealer has not been seen at
Lifestealer's
all.
not the
Yeah,
hero.
let's not do
Yeah.
that.
Lifestealer's not the hero right now.
Okay, guys, I want to hear from you. Who's got the better draft? Who's gonna take this?
I like.
Onward,
EG.
EG.
Loda's uncomfortable.
Come on, Louis.
Alliance.
Alliance.
EG baited the Wisp. EG's gonna win.
EG's gonna win. We're gonna find out which one is gonna win. Is it gonna be EG? Is it gonna be Alliance? We're gonna find out with LD and Gods.
Here at Minsk Arena, the crowd is absolutely deafening and the game has not even begun yet. Gods, are you ready for this?
I'm so ready. This has just been what everything's kind of been building towards throughout the Starladder season, all the online play, an amazing land so far, and one best of 3. We're going to find our champion.
Well, whether or not the game works
Prepare
out for
for
EG, you
battle.
can definitely see that the preparation time has benefited them to game plan against Alliance. Here we go. The countdown is underway. It's time. Alliance versus EG. Bulldog on his customary one of 2 heroes. Didn't get the Lone Druid this time, got the Prophet. He's had a great tournament.
He joked against Secret. Little do you guys know, I only had one hero, guys, but he's pulling out what might be a second hero.
We'll
When you're
see.
playing against Alliance, I don't know. It's a risk.
Proceed with caution.
I mean, people are talking about baiting out the IO pick, but they've just given, I feel more than the IO, it's the fact that Bulldog has Nature's Prophet. That has got to give Alliance a lot of confidence coming to this series. Even though he's been playing more of the Lone Druid this tournament, this is, to me, his bread and butter. This is what he got kind of ultimately known for throughout TI3, and Alliance are going to come out swinging here with just some classic picks across the board. The S4 Puck, low to the one player who doesn't really have, I feel, as many signature heroes, but it's because of how versatile he's been this tournament, and they save this hero for last because they don't really mind what he's on as long as they secure the rest of their draft.
Yeah, it's an interesting Wraith King game where it feels like they have an almost endless array of tools to kite and control him, but EG, in terms of their overall team fight, very reliant on the big combo. So Wraith King generally pretty good in that situation. Very curious to see how well he ends up performing, but off the bat, it's going to be Universe. keeping Ake out of his jungle. Something we have seen a lot of teams trying to block that big camp near the off lane, but Universe wisely going to protect it, prevent any sort of ward placement.
And that was a big thing that Alliance did yesterday against Liquid that maybe wasn't talked about so much, but blocking off Mind Control's Darkseer camp just really shut him down. It forced him to go to lane, which is where he made mistakes, got picked off a few times, and really started to struggle. So,
and actually, he's going to start there in the woods, it looks like.
Yeah, I think it's something EG caught onto from watching that series, and it's very much an adjustment they made, saying, okay, if we pick Darkseer, we have to guarantee that Universe has this camp.
Oh, they already want to go on him. They're going to deward, and they move in, and he actually got an amazing spawn here. These Dark Trolls give a lot of experience, also pretty easy to kill, but Universe, he's level 1! He's got no surge, no way out, it's first blood for the Alliance!
And they take the big neutral creep as well. Universe, it's a level 2 Wisp. This is an amazing start for Alliance. They read him so well there. They get the D-ward off on top of that. Universe kind of saw him coming, but he was in that like,
it's so close, I have to finish it.
And if he's thinking, if I finish this, this could be my level 2. If I get Surge, this gank does nothing. So he really just tried to push limit. Now mid lane, Sumail's had his salve cancelled. He's going to get orbed on as well. That's a lot of damage done, and Sumail's still a long way away from bottle. He immediately buys some
he's
tango.
still ticking down. Another poison touch. Ake for kill is cooling down. There's the heal. Ake manning up. One more auto attack. Oh, Sumail lives with 3 health. The plus-up's rushing in. Not going to commit to that. Sumail just got the Blake off cooldown. Oh my, Sumail living life on the edge, but in the end, he lives to tell the tale.
I mean, Ake's just got to be like, man, 3 hit points. If I just had like an extra branch or something, I maybe get that kill. If he had a Fairy Fire, he gets that kill. Just such a tiny little fraction of a difference between the two, and Sumail's got to be just so thankful that he gets that one. Otherwise, that would have been a terrible mid lane for him.
Fairy Fire has been a big item at the early levels in this tournament. We see it again here on the main stage. So things are going to calm down a little bit, though Bulldog may get caught out here in the top lane. There's the Lucid Beam, the follow-up. Jakiro just laying into him with heavy damage. They get the kill. Bulldog down. Already the score 1-2. Still the early moments here of the game, but it feels like both teams want to play very up-tempo. A lot of pressure.
And already a lot of kind of adaptations to what they've seen in the past. Like EG, typically running these dual lanes where Fear will often kind of head towards the offlane with Universe, but they say, look, Bulldog, he's been such a key player. He's effectively the one position carry for this team. Let's trial in him. Let's make sure he has a rough start. You get the kills. You make sure he gets no farm out of the lane. And also the early ward from the Darkseer, who's now forced to rotate off into his jungle. He's completely abandoned the offlane, so very interesting start coming out from the two teams.
Not only did they kill him and steal the big creep, they then warded it, so they salted the earth as they moved on to their next objective. And it, as you mentioned, Darkseer is still going to get something in the jungle, but it allows these supports to roam on mid, to stack their own woods if they'd like. It just frees up Alliance so much here. It seems Bulldog is also going to make his own rotation now, as he's gone back to the woods. So both offlaners totally abandoned the offlane. Does feel very T3-esque in the mid lane. S4 jumping in, finds the solo kill on the Queen of Pain. S4 has had a dominant tournament. It's really been a comeback event for him. And again gets the job done mid.
Yeah, I mean, analysts talked about the 1v1 matchup between these two players and how important it can be. And I feel even more so for Alliance because of the role S4 plays in this team, being the main tempo controller, the puck, the bat, whatever hero it's on, he's the one who kind of controls the pace of the game for Alliance. Him getting a solo kill just changes everything, and winning his lane is just going to be so important for Alliance now, and we'll see both teams kind of transition to an early tier 1 tower push, neither of which is likely to be too contested. Bulldog's just trying to use the trees to keep it alive, and this does give S4 time to rotate in, and the creep is being dragged
level
off.
6. This could be big. Very close in the bottom lane. Universe is going to get caught out. The heal bomb's there. Nice body blocks. The orbs get the job done. Just watching S4 as it looks like any moment he could jump in. Has the coil now. And he's waiting for the opportunity. He could get Arteezy if he manages to hit the combo. Waiting for them to push it a bit further.
Bulldog's like, I'll bait him in. They'll go at me. Just you wait.
Oh, S4, time to make the move. Orb comes through. The coil's there. Arteezy with a quick TP out should be okay. PPD as well. Do they get anyone? Nope. Back to the fountain. Absolutely fine. While they're also trying to set up on Fear bottom. That bottom tower, guys, it's almost dead already.
Yeah, Alliance, I don't think they were expecting EG to have the instant TP response to that play there. They will still get the tier 1 tower without losing their top one, and that was just such a great play by Bulldog in the top lane with his treants to make sure that tier 1 tower didn't have the creep wave on it. The treants just drew the aggro through the river, and as a result, Alliance don't take too much damage. Unfortunately for them, they don't get the money for the tier 1 bottom tower, but it's still map control going their way. It's a lot of pressure on EG's shoulders right now.
Man, Sumail, he's had a really rough time here on the Queen of Pain. Looking at his inventory, it's rather bleak compared to what S4's managed to assemble at this point. Still looking for the boots, does have the bottle. It's been a rough go for him, and S4 dominating the mid lane with the help of the early Dazzle rotation. Even though he died, he shut down Sumail's regen, forced him to use the Fairy Fire.
Yeah, but these
and it has
EG
made a
supports
difference.
just camping behind mid. They're kind of almost trying to bait Sumail this time, but S4's just been so on point. Again, you see a phase shift dodge here. He's going to try and turn this one around. I don't think he's going to be able to go for this kill. The Ice Path, oh! If he hits that into a Sonic Wave, you're looking at a kill. S4 did not have the Illusionary Orb there, so tiny little bit of missing range coming out from Fear's Ice Path.
He might have had it in time to drop a coil and get a counter kill, but PPD's gonna find him down in the river. Ice Pad cuts through, S4 will get caught out, but only for a moment. Jumps away, suddenly a rotation as well for the Queen of Pain. They're really committing on S4, but Aki's here to back him up. Belief does have a point in the grave. And now the Nature's Prophet coming in as well. Suddenly reinforcements arrive from the IO. They go up onto the high ground, PPD, again to TPs. No, this time not enough. EG thwarted in their efforts to just back away without punishment. They've been pressing a little bit here, and Alliance taking full advantage.
And again, more D-wards coming out from Alliance. They have been completely on top of EG's wards this game, from the starting D-ward that the Darkseid put down at the bottom rune to this one here in the mid lane.
You know, there was the interview yesterday on stage where Slacks asked Loda, you know, we see you running a lot of the same heroes as TI3 Arrow when Alliance was on top. Do you feel like you're just back to your old tricks, or have you changed up the formula? And this, to me, is the big difference. Alliance, even though they're running similar drafts, they're playing much more aggressively with the supports, and especially in this particular game.
Yeah, much more aggressively, and they're playing like better as a team than I've seen them since that TI3 era. They are looking right now like the well-coordinated team of the tournament. For EG, it's come down to more maybe the individual play as well as like the drafting and strategy at PPD, and that's where this clash is just going to be so interesting.
Eclipse online now for Arteezy, but tough to actually use it against the Treants in the lane, so he may have to wait for a better opportunity. PPD's going to rotate in. It is currently nighttime. Elusive Beam could set this one up. They also get off the Ice Pad, but they kind of stack the stuns here. Casca's going to come through, but they know it's dangerous to overcommit. So they will back off, and Bulldog, he wants to go in. He's going to pop the Sprout. The Treants are there, and suddenly again the Dazzle arrives to the lane, but while that was happening in the mid lane, they've managed to kill up the Queen of Pain. S4 committing the coil, finding the kill. Alliance, just little squads of 2 getting the job done. And they're about to get the relocate. So their map presence is only going to amp up from here.
And they didn't even overreact to the pressure top on Bulldog. He throws out the Sprout, he doesn't even get any TP support. It's just the Dazzle who's sitting behind him, and EG just unable to find the kills. You kind of mentioned it, the Eclipse just not going to be a very potent tool against the Nature's Prophets because of the Treant's ability to just soak up the damage, and it's very much a spell they want to use like when Alliance come TPing into as a kind of counter gank a measure, as well as maybe Arteezy himself TPing in the other lanes, but so far we've seen EG unable to kind of use this ultimate.
Well, Sumail's had enough of the mid lane. He's coming top, and Universe doesn't want to be bottom right now.
And it's not just the Eclipse, it's also the Sonic Wave. EG have had this up for some time, but all the pressure onto Sumail. He's 1,400 net worth behind S4. S4's individual play has just
A little
been phenomenal.
4v4 action here top. There's a commitment from Sumail, going to jump his way in. No relocate just yet. Beautiful grave by Ake. Keeps Bulldog alive, and now they're going to run forward. Sumail on the run. It's S4 again, fighting the 2-hero Coil. They're in trouble as well. Coil's going to snap. He might die in the fountain. Barely going to live, it looks like.
Oh,
But there's no chance for more. Another stun on Sumail. The follow-up there. Alliance surrounding EG. 3 heroes crumble.
This Loda's played throughout this tournament. His TP rotations have been like as good as any player I've seen since like CDEC during TI. Like this is just unbelievable. Every time there's that crucial early game fight that looks like, oh, Alliance may be in some trouble, Loda's just there to save the day. And he spends the entire time that he needs to be free farming, and then that one crucial fight, you know it, Loda will be there.
Has picked up the early broadsword. Are you thinking a blade mail for Loda here? Is that the item we're going to see on the raid?
It looks like a great item pick up this game against the Queen of Pain AoE damage against the Eclipse. There's nothing Luna can really do once you throw that Eclipse to prevent the damage being reflected onto you by the blade mail. So it's a fantastic item for Loda to go. Not to mention just the raw stats from this. You get a bit of extra mana to like just support your ultimate as well as your stuns, the extra bit of damage, the extra bit of armor. he can now transition off of this into a Blink Dagger. We've seen Radiance builds in the past, Maelstroms as farming items, but a very cost-effective early game item for him.
Well, the scary thing if you're EG, we have not seen the debut of relocate ganks. I believe S4's puck either has a blink or is very close to getting it at this point. 1200, so a little whiles to go.
I mean, the story with Alliance has always been, like, they're known for their Rat Dota, but Bulldog's Prophet, this is not a game where he's going to have to split push and Rat Dota it up. If anything, I feel like Alliance, at their best, they don't resort to Rat Dota. It's something that kind of comes as an afterthought, or when things maybe go into the late game and they're not ahead. But typical Alliance strats, they win the lanes, they push down towers, and they'd rather stay like grouped up as a team unit and take fights to their opponent like they're doing now with EG. And if anything, if this game keeps kind of going along the course it's going right now, we will see Bulldog playing more of a fighting Nature's Prophet build.
Yeah, he is going for the cheap items right now, just trying to get active early. Drums will be coming out. He's the third in net worth here on Alliance, but all three of their cores topping the charts. And oh, by the way, that IO ahead of the Queen of Pain. Alliance having an incredible start here. And they're working on towers. Looks like they will smoke. S4 looking to make a move top. They have all 5 heroes available to join that fight, whether it's the Prophet with a TP and an ultimate or a relocate from the mid lane. So EG could be in a lot of trouble if they group up too much. Glyph comes out, does Arteezy back, he's sticking around, and here we go. The Prophet with the TP in, S4 to start the fight, the orb off the mark, though Arteezy's gonna back away, full health, full mana. Tower will go down to the Dire, so a nice win there for EG. No good setup for the puck.
Yeah, hard if he dream coils, like we've seen before, Luna can just insta TP out, and unless Loda's there as well, you're not going to get that kill. Loda getting initiated on mid lane, but he's got the reincarnation. If they chase him too hard, that's where the puck will just TP rotate, and suddenly EG will be in all sorts of trouble themselves. You can't try and take a team fight with Luna's Eclipse because of this Blade Mail right now.
Yeah, not to mention the second life to worry about. You commit everything on that Wraith King, and, well, he could get relocated out, he could get graved, and even if he does die, round 2 is going to get ugly.
EG have kind of got to go into plan B, which is going to be looking to farm up Arteezy, go for the Helm of the Dominator, farm and stack Ancient, react to Alliance's moves. They can't try and take head-on team fights. They've got to try and catch like Alliance by surprise. Like when Alliance try and take a tower or go for a gate, you've got to show up with superior numbers. And you know Alliance are going to be a bit more as far as on the greedy side, as far as trying to secure their farm, not have all heroes present when they're taking a fight, because they've got the relocate, they've got the great global mobility of the Nature's Prophet. Even Puck, when he's got the blink, has a lot of mobility himself. So if EG can find like a quick kill, throw all their ultimates, Eclipse plus Sonic Wave, and then disengage without getting caught, that's the hard part. That's how they can claw their way back into this game.
Well, I mean, you mentioned superior numbers, and of course, that's always going to be tricky against this trap. They've got 3 heroes that can instantly join the fight from the IO and the Prophet, and then the Puck may have the blink soon, at which point 4 heroes that can potentially close the gap quickly is all tier 1s aside from the offlane towers are currently up here. Actually, the safe lane tower for EG also fell.
This game just gets so tricky for Samel. He's going to be going for what I can only imagine to be a Yule Scepter to try and defend himself against the newly purchased Puck Blink Dagger, which he knows is coming up any second now, but with Puck having a blink, Alliance could just snowball. It's not necessarily going to be the case. There was a game against Secret where, go back a couple of days, they got the like 12-minute Puck blink, they had a Starladder with a 9-minute blink dagger, they couldn't find kills, and that's what EG have to do. Basically what Secret did in that game 1 of their best of 3, Alliance hits all their early game item timings, they get a found bench, and then you don't give kills.
Moving in on the mid lane, he's going to find Sumail off the bat, PPD as well, thrashed by Loda, and Alliance all of a sudden, 5 mid out of nowhere. Well, how do you even counterplay that?
It's not going to be the story of the game against Secret where they get the blink daggers and don't find a single kill anywhere on the map. Takes them just 10 seconds of S4's blink dagger to get a great initiation onto the Sumail Queen of Pain, and it's Bracer Gaming for EG. They are absolutely dirt poor. The 2 supports, the lowest farmed heroes in the game. The Universe Darks here are only just now about to pick up a mech. It's coming very, very late though for the team. And even with a mech, I don't think they can really, I don't think they've got a chance to really 5-man into the Alliance draft. They're going to try and do their best. That's why they picked up something like a Bracer and Arteezy. Likely just goes back for like a Drum of Endurance himself to try and give his team any team fight presence possible.
Bulldog picking up the Gloves of Haste. Curious to see if this will be a Midas or a Maelstrom here. But has a decent amount of gold, whichever one he's going for now. And oh, by the way, Loda, 3,300. It is Radiance time for the Wraith King.
He's saying, EG, you guys are in trouble. You want to try and farm for the late game? Well, I'm going to secure my late game as well. And with the Radiance pickup, he'll be a huge team fight threat. Not to mention just have that ability to just push out waves,
And
farm
farm.
delay.
You know, you mentioned the Starladder game. They couldn't find ganks, but if you have a Radiant City Wraith King, you don't really care that much if you find ganks. You are going to outfarm the opponent.
And that's where I love how much Alliance learned from that loss when they had Starladder. They haven't changed Loda's playstyle. He's been doing exactly what he did on the Starladder, but it's not been on Starladder. It's been on heroes like Juggernaut, heroes like Sven, heroes like Wraith King that can also scale better into the late game than a Starladder can.
Alliance gonna scout things out here as the Treants parade towards the pit. This is a very slow Roach. EG feeling a bit desperate to get something done.
And they
Caught
cannot
the X.
continue. Yep. There is no chance. I think even Alliance themselves, they're not even following this one up. They're going to send one more Treant, but they're like, we don't even have to head that direction. There's no way EG, with Roche half HP, are going to continue doing it.
All right, the Roche sneak didn't work. Time to smoke up again and go for the team fight. But
Great
the man they're
heads up
going to
play from
initiate on
Alliance.
here is the Wraith King if they want to jump him.
Oh,
With the
great
IO in
nail.
position to catch him out, to save him as necessary. Pops the blade mail. There's the tether relocate a bit on the early side. Are they going to counterplay this?
I think Alliance will try and 5v5
It was a short range relocate.
They've got to blow up the Wisp.
Well, EGM is going to be pretty far forward, but S4 off the bat is going to find the pick. Brings down PVD. Now the two hero on the ice pen coming through, but not a very long duration one. And Alliance engage onto this. They catch out Arteezy. There's still no good opportunity here to pop the Eclipse. He's thinking about it, but he knows it would be a waste. So the Treants again save the day. Fear with the TP out attempt. Silence not in time. 3 have fallen. And Loda looking for a 4th. Universe. Oh, mid-stun animation there. Didn't quite have the range, but with that, Loda, looks like the Relic has just been purchased, inbound from the Courier.
I mean, Alliance crushed that team fight with like 4,000 net worth of Wraith King, not even on his hero. He's currently at 8k net worth. Realistically, he has 4k net worth on his hero. Just treads Blade Mail. If he has a Blink Dagger there, it's a 5-man wipe. Not to say he should have a Blink Dagger. I much prefer what we're seeing here, but that just gives some perspective of how far ahead Alliance are right now. They can take a team fight like that with just all this kind of stored up gold that isn't even invested on their heroes just yet. Next time there's going to be a Radiance. After that, there's going to be the Blink Dagger, and then EG just get beaten down even harder. That was like one of those must-win fights for EG. And
do you think they should have taken the fight, knowing that the Wraith King was the man in front? Obviously, by the time that relocate ends, Alliance will be in position.
They really just tried to position around the relocate by having the Witch Doctor hiding in the trees. Great heads-up play from Alliance to find him with the puck. And it was the Treants of Bulldog scouting things out, because they don't actually have vision around where the Wisp is going to relocate back. So they don't know if EG have backed off, if EG are going to try blow up the Wisp and take the fight. But Bulldog's Treants scouted out the Witch Doctor
forward.
and set the team fight
They're going to find the Luna here. Relocate coming. It's surprise PPD. Arteezy caught out again. The Luna gets hacked away at. Loda again, executing our tour. Alliance, the hits keep on coming. 15-3, almost a kill per minute as we are about to hit the 18-minute mark. They are getting everything they want and more.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This is going to be big. In the bottom lane, looks like Queen of Pain was slightly caught out, does blink away. Will be okay for the moment, and it is going to be a Maelstrom grab for Bulldog, so not going too greedy with the Midas. Once that increases damage output by a bit. And they'll pressure mid, they will back off.
And in this
Profit gonna
situation,
farm the
it's not
top
even
lane.
really just a farming item. It actually gives him a lot of DPS in the fight with the Phase Boots drums. He just right-clicks and he gets those Maelstrom procs. We're going to see good DPS coming out of Bulldog. Oh, sorry, the Treads, not the Phase Boots. And EG, no BKBs, nothing to really be able to fight into Alliance right now. And it's going to be incredibly problematic for them to take any kind of engagement.
EG just on the defensive here. They committed 2 smokes previously to get into the roast to try to gank in the enemy jungle, so the smoke supply is limited. The map control, not great with the Prophet constantly pushing out the lanes, and Treant scouting. They're going to find Jakiro in the Dire jungle. Bulldog has been very disciplined with his Treant micro throughout this game, keeping tabs on EG and, if nothing else, identifying where they're not. Arteezy farming up the Ancients here. He did go for the Dominator as his first big item, but he's been punished for it, constantly being aggressed on, and usually can't survive the damage output that Alliance have.
Is under attack.
Bulldog continues to scout everything. The Radiant Vision also deep into the EG side of the map, in their jungle, in the bottom lane by the tier 2 tower, and items galore about to come out. A Dagon going to be the pickup for S4's puck, and now he can just instantly take out a support, a Queen of Pain, whoever he really wants to. Outside of like the Darkseer, possibly the Luna, these EG heroes are just going to be minced meat to him. And I think this is like the ideal item pickup considering how far Alliance are ahead and how much further they can get ahead with the Dagon.
He can solo kill, I think, even the Luna practically on its own.
Just the Darkseer,
So
I think,
say
can
nothing of the
survive,
supports.
really? And they've got a mech on Io. Like, EGM's getting so much farm that he can start picking up these teamfight items, which, I mean, Alliance don't even have to get the big teamfight items. It's just by sheer, like, hero level and farm advantage that they've been crushing.
They've got eyes here on PPD. Any back in the bottom lane. They're going to move into the pit. Treants arrive. So Alliance actually want to try and take a Roshan. EGM soloing it right now with the Treants at his side. Bulldog will arrive. They are going to walk into the pit here, and they also get vision now on the Luna. Rotating towards the bottom lane, but EG, they've got the fear of God in them.
There's no play to go out and contest this Roshan. Alliance have the ward vision, they see him coming. EG have no vision on the map. You can like 5-man YOLO smoke this, but S4, again, his positioning such that he could see them before they actually arrive. And you run into S4, you can't actually kill him. He phase shifts, dodges everything, he blinks away. He's so elusive that he's just not a viable kill for them. And
they just don't have great catch for a puck. There's no instant silences here, no reliable stuns that have any kind of long duration. So Alliance will get a grab, essentially a free Roshan, and now S4 with the Aegis can be even more aggressive. They've got 2 heroes with 2 lives. The Wraith King Ultimate still online. I don't think we've actually seen him be forced to use it yet.
No, they haven't needed it at all. Like, I feel like we haven't even really seen Graves this game. At no point
There's been a few.
Yeah, it's just like at no point have Alliance really ever been in trouble. There's not been a single fight which, outside the one fight at the T1 tower top where Loader TP'd in, that was the only like iffy fight where it looked like EG had an opening. Every other engagement, every other fight, it's been Alliance just blowing away EG.
Alliance at 21 minutes. Strutting up the bottom lane, looking for the quick racks here. Universe is going to go. He's got the back of wall as well. Swap ult over the top of the mech keeps them in fighting shape for now. Everyone survives. S4 still alive here, has the Aegis and the Wraith King ult. There's your first reincarnation of the game. Now the Eclipse comes through, but the Treants are there to try and take it up. Loda in a bad position here. He's trapped out. He's going to go in, committing for this one. He's burning them down with the Radiance. In the end, he will end up falling. No buyback available. Looks like there was no defensive relocate out. Yeah. Bulldog does get a counter kill, but now Aki's in too far. Have they overextended? The Universe Darkseer working its magic. A 2 for 3, but they did kill the Wraith King and pop the ult as well.
I think EGM, from looking at the top, he didn't have mana for the relocate when the respawn came from the Wraith King. And that just kind of worked against him. The mech just eating up a lot of his mana there. He had mana for relocate afterwards, but that was from popping his stick, his arcane boot. So when Loader got really low, he just didn't quite have the ability to save and pull him out, and that was partly what cost him. Alliance, I think, rightfully so, pushing high ground. They are so far ahead, but perhaps just missing that one core item in the Blink Dagger for Wraith King. Because if he dies there with Reincarnation, he can probably get the instant Blink away, unless there's an Ice Path waiting for him. But it forces EG to coordinate a lot of spells just to kill him off, and makes their life a whole lot easier having that Blink initiation as well. But realistically, Alliance still in the driver's seat. It buys EG a bit of time to kind of continue getting whatever farm and items they can get up, but there is still way too many problems for EG to solve this game.
Yeah, and that was the debut of the Veil on the Jakiro as well. With their lineup, heavy AoE magic damage.
Yep.
Very potent, but that's EG's strong suit, right? When they're on the high ground, the Darkseer can get the jump with a really good back wall. Doing that outside of the base is dramatically more difficult.
And the key thing for Alliance with their position, which was on point, is that it's just the 2 frontliners, the Puck and the Wraith King, who get caught. Io, Dazzle, neither of them was in really risk of going down to the big AoE wombo combo, and I think EG, to win a team fight, have to catch at least one of those supports, ideally both, just to prevent like the Shadow Wave heals, the mech, the relocate saves. They need to be able to find a way to take down the back lines. When we saw Io lose with Team Liquid, it was when there was a Weaver who just kept coming in from behind, taking out the Weaver, taking out the Wisp at the start of the fight, and that's something which EG, I think, have to make a key point to do as well. Problem is, it's all this big AoE damage that they want to like sack onto the vacuum. They don't have that one hero who can kind of come around and snipe the Io. Maybe someone like Arteezy flanks with an Eclipse, but options are very limited.
The Treant summons have pretty much always been on point here for Bulldog as well. We saw that in the last fight. The bounces were a little unlucky, and quite a few beams ended up hitting the Wraith King, but the idea was there. EG, they did smoke bottom. S4, great map sense. Even pinged this out while they were still smoked. Hadn't revealed a thing. He knew that EG was likely headed this way, and they have counter-smoked. They're looking to make the jump. They come in onto Arteezy. Bursted, almost dead off the bat. Loda engaging here as well. He does have the Wraith King ult going. The Queen of Fate ult almost kills himself off as Arteezy pops the Eclipse. It's almost only hitting Trias. Again, Bulldog on point. PPD in danger now in the trees. There's the orb forward. S4 gonna pick him up. 4 have fallen. Fear will be the last man down. They've slain the old man. They've wiped down EG. And Alliance are gonna just power charge their way down the bottom lane. Now they can look for that first lane of Rax.
This is kind of almost approaching that tap out point for EG. They probably have at most one last fight in them, but Alliance's lead is just almost insurmountable.
I've got some good news for the EG fans. They got the tower.
I thought you were going to say it's a best of 3, LD. I was like, good news, it's a best of 3. EG, the team, more so than anyone else, who can come back from a loss. Like, pro players all across the board will say, you win it, you go 1-0 ahead in the best of 3, you're normally feeling pretty good, pretty confident. The one exception is when you're versus EG. You get up 1-0 against EG and you're thinking, like, oh crap, what's coming our way in game 2? What's coming our way in game number 3? And Alliance still thinking about game number 1 for now. They haven't sealed the deal just yet. They take a melee Rax in the bottom lane and playing things very cautiously. Will back off and wait for their next, like, they're kind of the reset, the next level of items, wait for their ultis to come back up. The Wraith King reincarnation still not online, and there's a few more items they can pick up. Even something as simple as like a Puck Dagon 5. His ability to instantly kill someone like the Luna just makes the fight so difficult.
He almost solo killed the Luna at the very start of the fight. That was vicious stuff from S4.
Darkseer was forced to mech, and the only heal that was applied was really on the Luna, who was solo Dream Coiled. So it wasn't really efficient use of the mech for EG, but it's essential. They weren't going to win the fight without a Luna. They weren't going to win the fight regardless, it turns out. And
I just have to highlight how good S4's leadership appears to have been this game. He pinged out off in the jungle, literally on top of EG, while they were smoked. No wards to scout it out at that point. And as soon as they saw heroes, they immediately counter-spoke and go for it. He even used his blink off the bat just to get a little bit closer as quickly as possible. So their decision-making has just been... They've just been much more decisive this game than historically over the past year or so when they've struggled. Impressive stuff from Alliance. And now the Dagon continues to be leveled up. There's a Haster and bottled. Oh, this is just going to be the icing on the cake if he gets the jump.
This is the complexity smoke gank. The we're down, we're out. 5-man smoke gank. We're down 20 to 25k gold.
Oh, look who's there to reveal it and to catch them out. Ward gets planted. Immediately S4 going to deward it. Nothing for PPD.
Yeah. And they have no like insta catch for someone like a Puck. There's no way to get it to save.
They're going to start it off on Arteezy Universe to the rescue, perhaps. He tries, but he gets silenced. He can't get anything off because S4 found the jump. The back wall comes through. The quaffled over the top, but they're tanking to it through all the damage. It's a triple kill for Bulldog, and it's a GG. And Ultra in the end. No mercy from Alliance. The Swedes are now on top, leading 1-0 already.
They just toppled them. That was a brutal opening here in a best of 3. That Alliance makes a huge statement in game number 1. From start to finish, they won the lanes, and I gotta give, as far as the dominance in this game, all goes back to the Alliance support duo. Their ability to figure out what the Darkseer was up to. They get that first blood. Then Ake goes mid. EGM and Ake, to me, the MVPs of that game as far as just the early game going so well for Alliance. And when Alliance gets a good early game start with a draft like that,